Hello, good people, and welcome back to Unit 5 on the Executive Branch. This is our third lesson talking about bureaucracy. Let's get into it. All right, so the bureaucracy, we briefly went over with Intro to Executive a couple lessons ago, and we talked about they're the people who help the president enforce the law, but we got to really dive in and see how this looks, okay? Again, they are not elected. They are appointed officials who have to be approved by the United States Senate. So that is at the federal level. They have to be approved by the North Carolina Senate at the state level. So any non-elected officials have got to be approved by another branch just to keep checks and balances in place. All right, so again, our beautiful, fantastic, wonderful funnel of federalism that we love so dearly, right? Here it is, okay? So at the federal level, we divide labor up when we enforce the law. We go with specific types of law, subtypes, and there's multiple groups for each subtype. If you're like, wait, what? Okay, so we have a person who runs all of agriculture, a person who runs all of energy, a person who runs all of housing and urban development. And within housing and urban development, you have Section 8 housing, you have equal housing opportunity, you have what else? Ways to build new schools, ways to build new cities. How are highways supposed to factor into this? That sort of thing. So you've got a lot of things that you've got to consider when we talk about enforcing the law. So remember, at the federal level, we have the president plus the bureaucracy. So we're going to draw this. How is it structured? Well, we got the president at the top, but we know one person cannot possibly handle every single law everywhere, every day. That's not possible for one human to do physically. So the president has got to divide up the labor. So it looks like this. The president is the enforcer of all the laws ultimately. From there, you have the cabinet. Not a cabinet like what you put your cereal in. All right, a cabinet as in a group of advisors. Okay, you have a group of advisors. If the president knows nothing about farming, the president should not be out here enforcing laws about farming. Okay, the president should have somebody help him out or her out, or them out, whoever is president at the time. The president should have someone to help them out about how to enforce laws for agriculture. Because if they need help, they can ask, okay? So the reason we have a cabinet is from George Washington. When he was first president, he was like, look, I'm really good at the military. I'm not good about finances. I need some help. He's like, I need a money man. So he calls Alexander Hamilton, not calls, like they were phones in the 1700s. He sent him a little letter and was like, hey, friend, can you come help me out? I need somebody to help run the government's budget. Alexander Hamilton is like, yes, ma'am, I will do that. He knows good and well that he is not good at handling conflicts and issues with other countries. He's just good at the military. He's good at our country. He's like, okay, I'll be the president. I need help, though. So he goes to Thomas Jefferson and is like, hey, you're good at talking to other countries. Can you be my Secretary of State? Okay, can you be my person who runs my foreign affairs? Thomas Jefferson is like, yes, I can do that, and so on and so forth. Okay, so the president goes to a bunch of different people who are really good at specific things and is like, hey, can you help me out? All right, so that is what the purpose of the cabinet is, all right? So within the cabinet, you have people who are the heads of all the departments, all right? So every little, piece of the government that we have to worry about, housing, energy, transportation, defense, the treasury, so money and all that stuff, we have a person who is in charge of all of those. Okay, we call all of these that the cabinet is in charge of a department. So let's leave this one over here blank so that we can go ahead and put an example in. All right, so we have these cool things called departments. All right, and departments is just one specific type of law. Let's say, for example, we do the Department of Homeland Security. Okay, so over here we're going to put Department of Homeland Security, or DHS. All right, within the Department of Homeland Security, their job is to make sure that our borders are safe and secure and that people here in the United States are not falling prey to domestic or foreign terror. Okay, they're the anti-terrorism department. All right, but it sounds nicer to say Homeland Security instead of anti-terrorism. So let's keep that one as DHS over here as our example department. Within that department, there are a lot of different things that need to be handled. So we break up the departments into little baby pieces called agencies, and they enforce part of this specific type of law. So they enforce one part of this department, okay? You don't have to put all these agencies, just this is how it looks, okay? So for example, for DHS, let's say we have two examples, all right? We have the NSA, or the National Security Administration, and we have the TSA, the Transportation Safety Administration. So the people who are in charge of making sure that you don't have any like weapons or explosives when you get on a plane are in the same department as the people who are in charge of border security and customs. So making sure you're not like smuggling random iguanas in your suitcase back from a random country, okay, or whatever else. All right, a lot of people, I know this sounds crazy, they use animals as drug mules to bring stuff into the United States. There were issues with like people bringing like snakes in, and they would have the snakes like eat bottles of pills or like bags of like heroin and stuff, and like kill the snake and cut the snake open eventually and take all the drugs out. Like that's a thing. So the Customs Department is in charge of taking that out. So Customs and Immigration Services, or CIS, that's another one you could put over here if you want to do that. But for the NSA, the National Security Administration, they are specifically worried about national security threats. Okay, so all of that happens within the Department of Homeland Security, if that makes sense. All right, let's keep moving. So this is what one department looks like if you were to put all of their little agencies in one place. This is one department. This is where the Secretary of Health and Human Services is in charge of. Government health budget, benefit exchanges, health insurance co-op, risk corridors, insurance mandates, what else? U.S. Preventative Services Task Force, essential health benefits package. The Treasury Department is also involved in Health and Human Services. The IRS is sort of involved. Look at this. We got Congress over here. Where's Congress? I just saw them. Where are they at? Over here. Congress. We got the president. We've got physicians. All right. So all of this circles back to Health and Human Services. This is how a department looks and how it interacts with people. If you're like, this is complicated, you're correct. Yes, it is. Okay. That's why the president needs some assistance. Okay. All right. So this is just one department. Imagine this times 15. Okay. That's how that works. So let's talk about the cabinet specifically. All right. It's made of the leaders of all 15 departments. It's a group. All right. Again, their job is to advise the president. They are all called the secretary of whatever department. Okay. Except for the DOJ, or the Department of Justice. We call this person the Attorney General. If you're going to work for the Department of Justice and talk about courts, you should probably be a lawyer. Okay, so we call this person the Attorney General. They are the lead lawyer for the whole country. Okay, so this cabinet has changed at least 6 times since this photo was taken in 2016. I think these 2, 3, 4, 5. I think there are only 5 people out of the 15 who are still there. Okay, so there's that. All right, so for the department, again, they enforce one specific type of law. There's 15 total. Think on which ones you know already, probably just defense and some other stuff. All right, so some departments in the cabinet. Just to be fair, I could not find a picture with Trump with his face inside of all of the 15, and this is a cool picture, so I kept it. Okay. There's 15 total. We're not going to do all of them. We're focusing on the top 5. Okay. All right, we got state, which leads to the creation of foreign policy, so how we talk to other countries and how we trade with them, or maybe how we don't trade with them if we don't like them. All right, Department of Defense is to ensure national security and to prevent war. This used to be called the War Department, but that sounds bad, so we just call it the Department of Defense, so we don't sound like we're on offense all the time. All right, so the Department of Justice interprets the law and protects the rights of citizens. The Treasury manages government revenue, so all our money flowing in, hashtag IRS, okay? And then the Department of Homeland Security, obviously, prevents and responds to foreign and domestic terrorism. All right, and then just a real quick side note, and that'll be part 1. So all 5 branches of the military are part of the DOD, or the Department of Defense. When we talk about all the leaders of the 5 branches, actually we have 6 now. Dang. All right, should have updated that. So when we talk about all 5 of them together, we call them the Joint Chiefs of Staff, or the JCOS. All right, there we are, and that has been part 1.